Good day, YouTube. Today's topic is, do you ever come across somebody in the military, regardless of branch, that is younger than you, but he or she outranks you? I'm going to say that in most cases it happens to the majority of us, not all of us. I'll share an example, a few examples. I joined the Air Force. I enlisted in the Air Force when I was 24. I went through basic training. At basic training, my training instructor was older than me. Most people were when I was 24. However, there was another training instructor, and I found out afterwards through conversation with him during BMT that he was 23 years old. He was 1 year younger than me. He was a senior airman, and I was in basic training with no stripes. That's one example. The next one is I get to my first base. I'm 24. After technical training, and there is a lieutenant, and then there's another lieutenant, and there are many lieutenants, even captains, who are younger than me at 20, let's say 26 years old, 2 years later. So that's a common thing. How do you deal with that? Well, in the military, rank is a part of the military. So you're going to have to deal with it. And that, actually, I don't think it's a big deal at all. It's for a reason that people in the military go up and make rank. The good ones are going to rise. Unfortunately, sometimes even the bad ones rise. But it's common, so it's not that big of a deal. How do you deal with it? Or how do I deal with it? I just press forward. I respect the rank. And the other thing is when I commissioned and I went through ROTC, when I was in ROTC, they said, once you're on active duty or once you're commissioned, reserve, active duty, it doesn't matter, guard, you are going to, as an officer, outrank 75% of the force, at least for the Air Force. That's right around track, give or take a little bit of a percentage. But it's true. It's one of those things that rank is a big deal in the military, and it's part of that structure. You just press forward. I've talked to people who are younger than me, who outranked me, people who are younger than me, even today, who are lower ranking than me, but are sharp, and that's what I like. Does that ever happen in the civilian world? Absolutely true. So have you ever heard of a boss who is younger than you in the civilian world? And the answer is yes, that happens as well. It's really not that big of a deal. It's actually common as well. My view is this. I look at the rank, but I also look at the individual. And like I've said before in many of my videos, I like to learn from people. And I can tell when somebody's sharp or maybe they're not the sharpest tool in the shed. It's one of those things. My advice to myself, maybe to yourself, is know yourself. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, learn from all people regardless of rank. Like I've said before on other videos as well, is there are some very sharp people who are lower ranking, and that's what I like. I also like my boss, my current boss. He is an 06, so a colonel, and he is 1 month younger than me. And it's crazy, but that's just the way it is. And that's because when he graduated high school, once I did my math, he went straight to college like I did. He went through Air Force ROTC and he graduated 4 years later. For me, it wasn't like that. I took the long route. I went to college. I was not in ROTC at that time. I got kicked out of college. I enlisted in the Air Force. I went active duty. I finished college. And then I worked on my master's degree when I was going through ROTC many years ago. It does happen. It's really not that big of a deal. It happens in the civilian world as well. So if you come across somebody that's younger than you and he or she outranks you, just go with it. It's all good. Learn from them and at the same time teach them. Have a great day.